Hi everybody, this is Ben Songroth with the Learning Technology Center of Illinois, and I'm going to walk you through how to set up your first Flipgrid. So if you're new to Flipgrid, there's two things we need to learn. We need to figure out how to make a grid, and then we need to know how to create a topic inside of that grid. So as you can see, I'm already in my account here. So I've signed in as a teacher, and I'm in my grids area of Flipgrid. So what I need to do now is create a place for my students to go to find the topics that I'm going to send out to them. What that means is now I got to go look over here to add a new grid. So you can see I've got several grids already in here, and those are all my old ones that I've used up to this point. So what I'm going to do for this video is I'm going to create a new grid here. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add a New Grid. And when this pops up now, this is where I'm going to create my grid. So for me, a grid is like my classroom. So a grid is where I'm going to invite my students to come into, and then once they're inside of my classroom, then I'm going to ask them to do things inside of that classroom. So they need to come into my classroom first, which means that they need to join my grid. So we're going to name my grid first. Okay, so this is just going to be something simple. You can name it your class periods. The good thing about Flipgrid is that since it's free, your students can, you can make as many grids as you want. So this will just be my grid here. Now the next ones down here, these are how students are going to join your grid. For most of you, many of you, what you're going to choose is school email. This is going to allow them to authenticate using their Microsoft or their Google account. So that's going to be the best option. You might, if you teach littles that don't have accounts yet, you might want to create a student ID list. They've got a CSV file or a spreadsheet file that you can fill out and submit, and then it will give every student a QR code that they could use to scan to get into the grid. Or if you choose public and PLC grid, what that's going to do is open it up to anyone that's 16 and over. So that's kind of the caveat with that. And then down here, you can create your own unique flip code for your grid. I'm going to choose school email for this test grid, and then hit next. When I get to the next spot, now it's going to ask me to enter in my email. So for me, it would be ltcillinois.org, and then I hit enter. And if I wanted to add another grid, I would type that in here. So if I wanted to collaborate with students from another school, I would have to type their email into this part as well. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And now in just a couple of seconds, my grid is ready to go. I'm able to share it out to Google Classroom, share it to Microsoft Teams, or even send it out on a Remind, or just simply copy and paste the link into an email and send it out to my students, or have them type it in on the board. So I'm going to go ahead and click All Set. From here, I'm in my grid. So again, this is my classroom. So now I'm going to ask my students to respond to a topic inside of my grid. They default you to an introductions topic here, but we're going to go ahead and just make that hidden. That means that my students can't see it, so it's not something that's confusing to them. So now I want to send them out a question. Okay, so in that case, I'm going to go down here to add a new topic. When I click add a new topic, I get my topic essentials. So this is where I'm going to ask them a question or ask them to respond to a prompt of some kind. So in this case, I'm going to choose video as an assessment tool. And then the question or stimulus text can be, just prompting them with what they should respond to. So how do you see yourself in video or assessment? And then as we go down further, you have the focus area. These are optional things you can add to your video. If you wanted to record yourself asking the question, which I think is always a great option to explain further on instruction, you can record yourself. You could upload a video. You could add something from Vimeo or YouTube, an image, perhaps it's like a piece of art or a primary resource that you want them to respond to, a GIF or emoji, or any of these other options down at the bottom of several now third-party tools that you can bring in. Now the important part here is that you could create your topic right away with all the defaults, or select more options to see some other details. When I click that, I get a lot of other things I can add to my grid, my topic, which some of them are actually pretty important. You could ask a tip or add a tip, so it could be like a hint. Topic attachment, so in this case you could maybe put in a URL to an outside website that you want them to read. But this part right here with topic status, I find to be the one that teachers find the most helpful, including video moderation. So if I turn this on, What that's going to do is it's going to keep student videos from just appearing in the grid right away. That'll actually moderate them so you have to approve them before other students can see them. If you have this off, students that are already looking at the topic will see student videos populate as they're submitted. So you just want to make sure that you might want that on. You also have student-to-student replies defaulted as on. And when this is on, that allows students to respond to one another when they watch each other's Flipgrids. And then status means here that you can make it frozen or hidden. So if you make it hidden, you can just unhide it and you make it active at a later time. So it's a helpful thing to kind of pre-make your videos. Same thing for launch and freeze dates. You can set up certain dates for them to become active. And then down here, video features. So every Flipgrid video allows you to now include stickers and drawings to videos and to selfies when the students take those at the end of their video. So it's super fun, but if you wanted to turn that off, you certainly have that ability here. You also have the ability to turn off a view count, which tracks student views, video editing, and video titles and likes. So you can turn all of these things off and on depending on types of students that you're working with. And then feedback. You have a basic feedback with 2 rubric formats from between 1 to 5 for performance and ideas, or you could choose custom and create your own rubric that can be applied for this topic. When you're done with all that, you're just going to hit the big red button that says create. And just like that, your topic's ready to go. When you want to send it out to students, you can have 3 different ways, or actually multiple different ways. You can copy the link and send it to them that way. Choose the QR code to display on your board or print out. Have your kids scan that. Send it directly to Google Classroom works really, really well. As you can see, I click that box, and now I can choose my class to send that to. And then I can create an assignment, a question, or an announcement, or a material based off of that and have it go right to my Google Classroom. Or send it to Microsoft Teams, and you're good to go. So there, I'm all set. Now I have my assignment here, and I'm ready for my students to respond to it. So that'll be another video that we can follow up with, but I hope that's a quick introduction to how to use Flipgrid in your classroom. Thanks for watching.